What happens when the holiday spirit gets lost in space, panics, and stitches together a movie from whatever haunted scraps it can grab, floating in the cosmic void? You get Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, behind cardboard sets that would make Ed Wood chuckle, and Martians painted a green shade of radioactive pickle, hides a tangled trail of bizarre production secrets, cosmic coincidences, and historic milestones.
Station KID-TV brings you the special event of the year, a first in television history.
The film was conjured into existence by Paul L. Jacobson, a man who produced exactly one movie. And after finishing this intergalactic Christmas fever dream, he quietly slipped out of the industry forever. Coincidence? Or an act of pure self-preservation? Rumor has it that he bolted from the studio at 3 a.m., tearing off his producer's badge and shouting, "The Martians are everywhere!" before vanishing into the night like a panicked holiday cryptid. Yup, rumors. iCertainty may or may not have made that part up. Production took place inside an old Long Island aircraft hangar, previously used to store Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis. For a movie known for its humble sets, it began in a building with surprisingly prestigious history. The film marked the screen debut of 10-year-old Pia Zadora, who would later become a singer, actress, and the center of several Hollywood controversies. The Martian ray guns weren't custom props. They were retail toy guns from the Marx Toy Company. The production simply repurposed them, paint and all. Hooray for Santa Claus! The film's unmistakably upbeat theme was composed by Milton DeLugg, a respected bandleader with a long career on The Tonight Show and the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. John Call, who played Santa Claus, had just concluded a Broadway run in Oliver before stepping into the red suit. Even the two child leads were fresh off Broadway productions. It's one of the few areas where the film's talent exceeded its resources.
Now you come with us. We need you on Mars.
The North Pole polar bear, visibly a man in a costume, was actor Gene Lindsay. Years later, he appeared in All the President's Men, portraying one of the Watergate burglars. An unusual career arc, to say the least. Despite her long presence in literature, Mrs. Claus had never appeared in a feature film until this one. Her first cinematic appearance happened in a movie best known for green-painted Martians and malfunctioning robots.
Believe me, I had nothing whatsoever to do about this.
A mid-air refueling clip seen in the film was the same footage used by Stanley Kubrick in Dr. Strangelove. Released the very same year. In 1964, Martian spacecraft apparently flew with Cold War precision. The opening credits list a costume designer, a now famous misspelling. It's a small error, but one that perfectly reflects the film's rushed post-production. Although a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode from 1991 cemented the film's cult reputation, it had already been lampooned by the Cannes Film Festival in 1986.
What's all this stuff for?
Mom and I are going to bring joy in everyone's heart. We're showing Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Uniquely, the film is the only one to be officially riffed by Mystery Science Theater 3000, Cinematic Titanic, and riff tracks.
Give me the unusual. I said the unusual.
For decades, the movie has been included on lists of the worst films ever made. Reviews remain harsh, but its cult status has grown regardless. Proof that cultural longevity doesn't always depend on quality. A persistent myth claims that MASH actor Jamie Farr appears as the Martian Stobo. The role was actually played by Al Nazor. Kimar, Momar, Gurmar, and Beau-Ma translate directly to King Martian, Mom Martian, Girl Martian, and Boy Martian. Whether intended as humor or necessity, the naming convention is remarkably blunt. Bill McCutcheon, who portrayed Dropo, later joined Sesame Street as Uncle Wally, eventually earning an Emmy for his work. His gentle charm in later roles makes his earlier Martian antics even more surprising. In the late 1990s, a remake was seriously discussed, with Jim Carrey reportedly considered for the role of Dropo. The film has been adapted into multiple stage productions, including an annual theatrical performance in California. Being in the public domain allowed the film to be released on countless VHS and DVD compilations. This accessibility played a significant role in the movie finding its modern audience, often in bargain bins and late-night TV slots. Despite its reputation today, early reports indicated the film performed surprisingly well during its initial theatrical run. Children were enthusiastic. Critics were far less so. Over time, history sided with the critics, but not before the film made its mark. Torg, the giant Martian robot, was constructed from scrap materials, cardboard, duct tape, and leftover prop pieces lying around the hangar. The costume was so stiff the actor inside could barely move, without tipping over like a haunted refrigerator. The green face paint used on several actors reportedly smelled awful, stained skin for days, and flaked off under the studio lights. By the end of filming, the Martians looked less like aliens and more like wilted celery. The production couldn't afford real snow machines, so the snow around Santa's workshop was crafted from dyed blankets, shredded plastic, and cotton mounds that occasionally drifted into the frame mid-scene. It commonly screened in theaters alongside Donovan's Brain, a sci-fi thriller about a scientist controlling a dead millionaire's disembodied brain. The double feature felt like someone shuffled two VHS tapes together on accident. Because the set was freezing, the child actors wore layers of winter clothing underneath their Martian outfits, making them waddle like tiny, confused astronauts trying to find their classroom. Writers Glenville Marath and Paul L. Jacobson reportedly hammered out the script at breakneck speed. Considering the finished product involves Santa, Martians, robots, kidnapped Earth children, and a coup d'etat, it shows. A throwaway line about Earth broadcasting too many TV shows into space unintentionally foresaw future satellite congestion and media overload. Basically, this movie predicted streaming chaos decades early. While everyone wore green tights, early drafts apparently had a darker ending involving the robot malfunctioning and Santa being unable to leave Mars. Producers thought that might traumatize children, as if the rest of the movie wasn't already doing that. The original theatrical poster, with Santa holding a laser gun while Martians attack, has become a cult collectible. Ironically, the artwork looks like it belongs to a completely different and much better movie. In the 70s, it aired endlessly on local TV. In the 90s, Mystery Science Theater 3000 revived it. In the 2000s, bargain bin DVDs brought it back again. And in the 2020s, it exploded online thanks to TikTok and meme culture. This film simply refuses to die, much like the robot Torg, who probably still roams the hangar looking for batteries. Nicholas Webster originally approached the film as if it were respectable sci-fi for kids. He even cited The Twilight Zone as inspiration. The final movie did not reflect that ambition. The Martian costumes required helmets, but the budget didn't allow for custom molds. So production bought metal buckets, cut holes in them, painted them green, and stuck antennas on top. Instant aliens. Actor Bill McCutcheon created Droppo's bizarre giggle on the spot. It wasn't in the script, but the director kept it because it felt otherworldly. Or because they were out of time. Possibly both. Frustrated by chaotic scheduling, constant rewrites, and malfunctioning props, the script supervisor walked off the set. Continuity errors skyrocketed immediately, which explains a lot. The giant robot costume was so flimsy that if the actor leaned even slightly, it collapsed inward like a dying cardboard castle. 2 crew members often supported him just off camera. Producers rushed every phase, writing, filming, editing, because the movie absolutely had to hit theaters before the holiday season. It was the cinematic equivalent of cramming for finals and turning in your paper while sprinting. Because the cast was small and the budget was microscopic, some actors doubled as background Martians, workshop elves, and even robot handlers. In one shot, the same person appears twice, as 2 different aliens. One promotional poster described the movie as a Martian menace that will frighten kids everywhere. This was optimistic. Kids were more likely to be confused than terrified. John Call's beard was notoriously unreliable, slipping during dialogue or peeling away whenever he laughed. Some shots had to be framed to hide the beard slowly migrating down his chin. For years, no one knew where the original film negative was. Distributors used low-quality duplicate prints. Then, without explanation, the negative resurfaced in the 2000s in a private collection. No one has publicly claimed ownership, leading to all sorts of fan theories about who was protecting it. The radar consoles in the Martian control room were made from metal pizza trays with neon paint and blinking Christmas lights glued to them. If you look closely, you can practically see the pepperoni outlines. The props team reportedly bought nearly every wind-up toy in a nearby shop, then simply scattered them around the workshop to look like production equipment. It worked. Production borrowed leftover sets from an abandoned sci-fi TV project. They repainted everything green and hoped viewers wouldn't notice the mismatched styles. Spoiler: viewers noticed. The costume department repurposed discount women's winter boots because they looked spacey enough. The actor reportedly struggled to walk without slipping. Time was short, money was low, and several shots came back blurry. Instead of reshooting, the director shrugged and kept them. Kids wouldn't notice, he figured. Critics did. Early drafts featured a climactic fight with a towering snowman creature on Mars. Budget realities crushed that dream. But concept art survives, and it looks absolutely unhinged. Because the studio had limited funds, several background Martians and elves were recruited from nearby neighborhoods. Their payment: candy, soda, and a fun afternoon. The large circular table Martians gather around was built from wooden boards balanced on 2 oil drums, then covered with a sheet. One actor said he lived in fear the whole thing would collapse mid-scene. In the late 70s, college students began using reruns of the film for drinking games, taking a sip every time a Martian name ended in Ma, or whenever Torg moved stiffly. The tradition quietly continued into the early 2000s. Before reality set in, there were conversations about a follow-up taking Santa deeper into the solar system. The working title: Santa Goes to Jupiter. The Jovian Jamboree. It never happened. Perhaps the universe intervened. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians may be best remembered for its eccentricities, but those same quirks are what secured its place in holiday pop culture. From Broadway actors to toy gun laser battles to unexpected cinematic milestones, the film remains a curious relic, flawed, unusual, and strangely enduring.
Merry Christmas, everyone!